Hi yogis, welcome to our mantra inspired class today, the second of the series. Our mantra for the day is going to be So Hum, and this mantra is a very simple one, you would think. So Hum meaning I am or I am that, but as you will notice as we flow through this class today, there's a lot more to explore than you might think at first sight. So we're going to start lying down on our backs, making ourselves comfortable, closing the eyes for a second, drawing our senses inward, and right away connecting to our breathing. So just take a pause and see if you can just listen in, noticing the flow of the breath and actually quite literally listening to the sound of your breathing. Notice if you can observe your breath almost like two streams of light entering and exiting your nostrils here. As we're exploring today's mantra, So Hum, I am or I am that, we're likewise going onto a journey of self-exploration, looking deeper into what we identify as or how we identify ourselves. And at the same time looking into our connection to that, to the bigger picture, to what we find ourselves in and maybe what else is there. So we're beginning to reach out our arms from there, taking a little space and then just dropping knees to one side. I'm starting with my left here, back center, and then exhale to the right. As you're starting to invite a little bit of movement, just check in with yourself today. How's your lower back feeling about this quite free movement? How are your hips, your legs? We're starting with the lower part of the body today. So just swinging leg over side, maybe lifting, maybe extending. You can see here, not only do I have a dirty floor, but also I'm just really kind of going with the flow. This movement can, but doesn't have to become a little bit bigger. As you're swinging from side to side, keep your shoulders relatively heavy so you can really explore just one side. I'm starting to invite some leg circles as well. And I love this practice specifically because we are so busy all the time and nowadays with social media exploring what we're not. This practice is for you to explore what actually am I? How do I feel myself, right? And movement is a great way to do that. We're going to arrive now with our left side, right leg kicking over to the left. You could hold onto your toe. You could hold the leg from wherever it feels right for you, or you could just keep your head out. And just feel into this twist for a moment here. When you're ready, switch to the other side. And again, you can extend. As you can see, I'm a little bit limited in my space there. So you could hold onto your foot, you could hold onto the thigh, or you could just, again, sort of like keep the leg floating. And then come back to center, line up your feet. Take a moment and come into robot arms. So your elbows are going to press down into the mat and you're going to start lifting your hips up. Pressing into your heel more than into the front of the foot. I'm actually lifting my toes here even. Taking maybe a breath or two and then exhale, rolling back down. Lifting the heels if you like, so you're coming to a little bit of a rhythm between lifting toes and lifting heels. My head is still on the blanket, but I very much encourage you, if this is too much for your neck, to actually move your head right onto the mat. And so I'm going to do about 3 to 4 repetitions of bridge pose, and then lift my feet up, come into sort of a table, reverse tabletop, and just keep my knees together as I twist side to side again. Now my elbows, as you might notice, are still on the floor. I'm going to keep my fingers up and just go as far as my belly feels in control, as far as my core is still working without feeling overwhelmed, or if I feel like I'm dropping my knees, I'm going to not go that far, but I will challenge myself. So about 2-3 times to one side and maybe going a little further each time. And then I'll drop my knees to the right. I'm going to extend my right arm on the floor and pull my left arm overhead and then open into a twist. This goes more into the upper back now. So we started with the lower part of the body and now we're going towards chest and shoulders. And you can roll your head or you can just stay static before you switch sides. Again, arrive with your elbows pressing down, feel your shoulder blades grounding, and then drop your knees to the to the left this time. Take your left arm out and then circle your right arm open. So feel your shoulders land. Pausing for a moment, noticing how is that feeling in your very own body. That question is almost never wrong because our thoughts go everywhere, but to the actual experience usually. And then make your way back to the original robot arm situation, and maybe a couple times opening your fingers, opening your arms up to let your shoulder blades move out and round behind you, and then exhale, fingertips back down towards your legs. So just once or twice, or you can do it very slowly once, and pull your knees into the chest when you're ready. And this time I'm going to actually remove my blanket and just roll up and down. So I'm starting maybe 2 or 3 times, rolling up and down just to see how that feels. To make sure you have space there, especially in front of your mat. Because the next time you come up, you're going to take your legs long and lean towards the right, then the left, and then roll back down. And let's repeat that. Lean towards the right, then the left. Can reach one arm and roll. So it's quite a dynamic movement. We're bringing some heat into the game. Trying to roll out, stretch out, and it takes a moment to kind of get the hang of this sometimes. And as you can see, I need to adjust my space. I'm going to do about 5 of those. And really, again, just exploring how's my right leg, how's my left. And then this time you're going to stay up and take your arms wide like wings. Really engaging through your legs, pressing heels away as you twist towards the left like a screwdriver or something like that. Keep your arms wide, keep your center really strong. And then from there, pulling towards the front. Some pulses are okay here. It's a little bit that Jane Fonda kind of situation. That's okay. And then switching sides, you're going to twist over, really stable in your spine as you twist once again, and then lean forward. Feels quite nice usually. And we're going to do it again, maybe this time leaning a little bit more towards the actual foot, and then you could hold on to that foot and open from there. If it's too much to hold on to the foot, please by all means, just go to the shin or the thigh even, and reach your arm over. Just see how that feels, and eventually bring your arm down so you can come into a very short forward fold over that left leg. You can take more time, otherwise come up, twist one more time to the right, lean towards the right foot this time with the left arm, twisting, holding to whatever you can hold on to, and then eventually the arm behind you, in my case the right arm, could extend up and over. So it's starting with a sort of a side bend. Doesn't have to be the deepest side bend you've ever done. But then we're going to collapse into a gentle forward fold. And it looks like I'm pulling more than I actually am. It really is a soft, a gentle forward fold. Just, again, an exploration of your body. And then bring your feet closer, bring your heels down, holding onto the outsides of your thighs as you start cat-cow movements, rounding back, and then inhale, opening forward. Maybe 3, maybe 4, whatever makes you feel like a little bit of mobilization for the back part of your upper back, of your midsection. Good, and bring your feet closer. See if you can thread your arms from underneath so that your palms or your fingertips are meeting at center, and you're going to come onto your toes, potentially lift your feet up, float, and if you feel like it, lift your feet up. And we're going to do, I would say, about 3 movements, 3 rounds, lifting the feet both together and then one individually. So both feet lift, and then right and then left foot lift. If this is too much, keep doing keep doing each one individually. If you want more, take both at the same time. Holding on to the back of the thighs, but staying as open as you can in your chest. And then eventually hold wherever you can hold. And if you have one leg up, then just switch after a while. See if you can really keep that back as straight as possible and move into your Navasana. Releasing your hands from your thighs, float. Come into cross-legged, take a breath in, open the chest, release. Exhale, fold forward. And just feel the breath moving your back now. Get into any sensation that this movement has created for yourself. And roll up. We're going to make our way now into hands and knees. So you could use your blanket if this is something that feels better for cushioning your knees here. I usually prefer that. And we're going to walk the hands right under the shoulders to begin with. So we're feeling really solid. And then as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath the right. Lift it up as you inhale and exhale, repeat. So we're going to do 3 times open, close, thread the needle. And as you exhale the 3rd time, you're going to stay for a moment, maybe walking your right fingertips forward just a little bit. You could roll onto the shoulder. You could play around with your neck very gently, though. I'm trying to extend my arm here, see how that goes. Inviting soft movement, nothing strenuous at all. Strenuous. And then bring it back up. Inhale, this time from opening, you're going to bring your hand down and slide it out to the left now. So kind of the opposite movement. We're going to do that also 3 times. So we're going to slide out and back up. And then just stay there for a moment. And if it feels good, extend your right arm forward and come onto your fingertips here, leaning into a variation of puppy pose. I really love lifting my left arm a couple times, getting that space into the shoulder area, that mobility from a weird position, but it does feel quite nice. Slide your hands together for stability, maybe a round of cat-cow if that's something that you like to do in between, or stillness, just feeling the breath. Switching to the other side. When you're ready this time, the right arm is going to lift up and open, and as you exhale, you're going to thread the needle here. We're going to do that again about 3 times. Exhale, round and twist. Inhale, open and press up. See if you can keep the left arm solid. Once you come into your thread the needle position, it feels interesting to play around with the arm. Left arm could extend forward again. You could move around with your head very, very gently. Please be careful. There's a lot of tension in the neck and also a lot of tension that makes sense sometimes. So just gently play around with what works. Small movements sometimes better than big movements. As you inhale, release that position, bring your hand down, and this time slide it out. So you need a little bit of space. And you're going to do these sliding movements about 3 rounds until you arrive there in this wide puppy. You're going to extend left fingertips forward, right arm out to the right. And just feel into that sort of asymmetrical heart opening there. So the left armpit really opens. The right shoulder blade is pulling up. And as you can see, I'm still lifting my hand about 3, 4, 5 times just to sort of release the shoulder. Sliding hands back together when you feel complete. Any movement is welcome, so it could be side to side this time, or again cat-cow. And then this time from here, I'm going to come into seated on my heels with my toes tucked. This on its own is a great thing to practice during the day, just to give your feet a little bit of space, the soles of your feet specifically, the muscles of your feet. And from here, coming up into kneeling, I still have my blanket, which could be an option for you too. Right leg stepping forward into a lunge. Lean into that lunge. And we're just going to start with opening the hip flexor softly. So I am going to move forward and back maybe 2, maybe 3 times, just pulsing here. And again, this is a free flow, a free exploration of space for you. Once you feel like a nice opening in the front thigh, you're going to open the arms, widen, lean forward, and as you exhale, you can see here, round and cross your arms in front, lean back. So it doesn't have to be a big movement at all, but do open your arms and then see if you can find your shoulders with your hands. Come into that sort of lunge. Now, without using the arms, we're going to try different directions. So we might lean towards the left and then potentially towards the right for a second. Playing with balance here. And again, without using the arms, drawing circles, see how that goes. It kind of feels a little weird usually when we're here, but it's definitely worth exploring. How do I feel in this position? When you're ready, lift your elbows up, look up, lean back, widen the chest, open your arms, take space. Notice all that space around you, that space that you interact within. And then bring your hands down for a moment. Lean into one more stretch. Shift your hips back, especially the right side of the hip. Lean forward and come back up. Hands onto your hips, step it back. Kneeling. Now I'm going to do a cat-cow on my knees just because this is a different way of doing cat-cow and it gives me a different idea of my spinal mobility. Eventually left foot steps forward, leaning, pulsing, stretching, really again your choice. See what your body prefers. See if you can encourage your body's choices over my cues. And then again, crossing arms in front, widening arms as you lean forward, and crossing arms as you lean backwards, lifting up or lowering down in your own rhythm. Going to arrive with our arms crossed and leaning into a lunge again. From here, side movement, left and right. Try it out. Maybe a breath on each side. And eventually starting in this interesting / weird circular movement. So just trying out different directions without using your arms. How does it feel to be limited like that? What does it change in your perception? What different muscles can you maybe notice? Lifting your elbows up so you come into this kind of opening and back bending. And then from there, stretch your arms up and slowly out. Take space. Notice the space around you. Lean forward. Shift back into a half split pose, a Hanuman position. Shift back into that lunge. Come up, hands onto your hips, and you're going to step back from there. So trying out your balance until you reach the kneeling position. One more time, cat-cow or any other movement here. And from there, I'm going to move into a child's pose. And from my child's pose back into all fours. Spacious in my tabletop, I'm going to push back into down dog. Take my feet wide. Shifting my hips side to side, pedaling my feet. First down dog of today's class. Make sure you notice your joints. Kick your right heel up. Open your hip, and we're going to do open-close movements for 2, 1, open, stay, exhale. And then bring the right foot to the inside of the left ankle and shift back. So this is sort of a tree pose in your down dog, something that maybe you haven't done before, something to give you a new impression of what your body is capable of. Left leg kicks up, same thing, 3 times, opening and closing that knee, rolling it in and rolling it out and open. And the third round, you're going to keep your leg as in this open position for a moment before you bring the left foot towards the right ankle and just lean back and really press the knee out into your tree. Now pedaling your feet, stepping in one spot for another breath before you're going to place your feet down and start walking your hands back. If you have a blanket there, just bring it to the side. See if you can move your hands under your feet, stepping on the insides of your palms, and just shake your head out just once or twice. This gorilla pose. And I'm going to do a little bit of a forward movement with my chest once or twice. I'm going to try to open the chest as I lean back with my hips, and as I exhale, I drop my head around. Just feels kind of interesting, this connection between legs, arms, and upper body. Release the hands, walk them forward, arrive back in your down dog. Shift your hips all the way back again. Find length before you step the right foot into your lunge again. Arrange yourself in your lunge. Come up just for a moment. Just feel into that lunge. Let your arms be heavy, soft, upper body relaxed. Move your fingers if you like, and then come back down, hands onto the mat. And we're going to start stepping in that left foot towards the right knee. If you like, you can use your right arm with it. I'm going to do about 5 rounds, I think. Stepping the leg in and back down. And then landing back in that lunge. Opening the right side now, so the elbow pulls up and then back. Nice little opening for the shoulder. Bring both hands back down. Feel stable in your lunge before you now walk the foot in and lift into a standing split. Standing legs slightly bent. Just remind yourself that you can't lock that knee, and then tap the left foot outside of the right and the left foot out to the left. This is kind of an interesting thing, playing around with balance when we are facing the other way around. So sort of a half inversion. See what that does to your movement, to your perception, and then place the foot down in that cross position. Walk your hands all the way over towards that foot. And then to the other side. Right, so we're exploring different spaces and then finding back into a lunge. You can always take more time. I know this is a fast-paced flow, so there's no need to follow my cueing. Once again, sometimes it can be hard to work against what you know, but if it feels better for you, take your time. If you, however, feel up for the challenge, walk your left foot forward and then arrive in your lunge there. Just for a moment, figure it out, or feel it out rather, in a standing pose, and then pull the right knee in and back a couple times. I'm going to do 5 again, hopefully. Pulling it together, feeling your core engage, feeling the viscosity of your body as it lands, and the strength as you pull in, and then landing back in your lunge. This time, the left arm opens into your twist. Pull it open and see if you can wave that arm back slowly. Maybe a circle or two, coming back into a lunge, and from your lunge into a standing split again. Crossing the leg over to the left, so it's going to be a tap with that foot to the left and then open to the right. As if you're kind of dipping into cold or warm water, your choice, just trying out the temperature. And then walk your hands over to the left, just see what's there. And then walk them over to the right. Step that foot behind you, arrive back in your lunge, and step back into your down dog. Almost done with the very dynamic part of this class. Roll forward, land on your belly, pause here. Take a couple of breaths. Now, after the active practice is when the thoughts rush in, when we have the time to think again. See if you can stay present. We're going to just take a little break in a Sphinx pose. So whenever you're ready, you can just slide your hands, your elbows back a little bit, trying to open your chest and just feel into your physical being for a moment. I like to sometimes drop my head, bowing to myself, quite literally. Noticing all aspects of you throughout and apart from this practice, whatever comes up, whatever you can sense. If it feels interesting from here, maybe reach one arm and then the other arm forward, maybe in a diagonal, different directions, exploring your side body, exploring your wrists, and then see if you can eventually roll onto your back from there. Find a comfortable position on your back with your feet grounded. And let's do one more hip opener after this practice. You're going to bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh and pull your left thigh in so that you feel this opening on the outside of the right hip, right thigh area. And again, the more well-known, the more simple potentially it gets. Switch sides, left ankle on top of right thigh. The more thoughts are coming into the game and the more distraction there is. So just give yourself, we have a couple more minutes, maybe 2, maybe 3 max. This moment for yourself, for just creating consciousness. Pull your knees into your chest, maybe circle Once, twice, releasing the lower back. Bring your feet back down. You can stretch out long on your mat, or you could just stay where you are, dropping your knees into each other. If you want something for your head, please don't hesitate. If you need anything else for a very comfortable Shavasana, choice is yours. And I invite you for this last bit to really invite any sense of ease. Diving into a very restful minute. And if you want to engage just lightly in a meditation here, then sometimes just following your breath with the mantra so hum, so with the inhale, hum with the exhale, I am, can be a wonderful thing to keep yourself focused. So just listening to your breath, so with the inhale, hum with the exhalation. Do this for as long as feels good. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. There's no rush getting out of your meditation. See you next time.